Hello world, how are you doing? This little box from the Royal Mint has just arrived. All I've done with it so far is take the address label off it, so let's open it up and see what's inside it. And it's the new 2025 Royal Mint Music Legend Series Iron Maiden coin. I have a Bunc pack and I have a silver proof. Let's have a look at each one in turn. The design of the coin is the same for both, so what I'll do is have a look at the packaging first, because that's a big part of the appeal of this coin, and then we'll have a closer look at the coin design itself. Okay, the Bunc pack first. So for anyone who doesn't know, a Bunc pack is a coin in brilliant uncirculated condition, hence BUNC, Bunc, in specially designed commemorative packaging. Some people like to keep them in the outer plastic wrap, but I want to see what's inside, so I'm breaking in. So there's the coin, more about that later. And Eddie, of course, the band mascot over on the right. That looks like a kind of composite of some of the different Eddie designs over the years. On the back, some of the details about the coin. This is the Bunc pack, so this is just the Cupro nickel version of the coin with a denomination of £5. And it mentions the designers, the obverse, the King's Head side by Martin Jennings, and the reverse, the Eddie side by Alberto Chiarante. If we open it up, there's a bit of the history of the band. All of the current lineup are mentioned in the bio, and it's nice to see that at least some of the former members are also acknowledged. Biography mentions the original vocalist Paul Di'Anno and the original drummer Clive Burr, both of whom have sadly left this planet of course. And there's also a mention of Blaze Bayley, who stepped in when Bruce Dickinson stepped out in the 90s. That part of the band's history is a little bit divisive, but you know what, there are some great songs on those albums, and Blaze is a great vocalist, as any Wolfsbane HMS will tell you. There's a kind of pop-up Eddie, which is also printed on the back of the card, although that's quite difficult to see. Anyway, nice little pack, but I'm going to put it aside and have a look at how the silver proof is packaged. Okay, silver proofs are usually supplied in these outer cardboard boxes. Let's open that up. Here's the main box, Iron Maiden logo on the front, Eddie on the sides, and the text on the back is the same as the text from the Bunc pack. Okay, let's get into that box, and inside there's a little booklet. It's kind of disappointing. The text in the booklet is the same as the text from the Bunc pack, and the pictures are the same as well. I would maybe have expected something a little bit different. And the booklet that accompanied the George Orwell coin earlier this year had a page about its designer, Henry Gray. But in this booklet there's no mention of Alberto Chiarante. I wonder if that's possibly because there would also really have to be some acknowledgement for Derek Riggs, the artist who was responsible for most of the early Iron Maiden album sleeves and the overall aesthetic of the band's best known imagery. Okay, finally let's get into the box that holds the coin. There's the COA, and look, I got number 766, one digit out. I guess that makes me a neighbour of the beast. Here's the coin, and it really looks great. Okay, let's put all the packaging aside and focus on the coin. Okay, the Bunc coin and the silver proof are the same design, but naturally the silver one is a bit brighter, so we'll focus on that. Let's zoom in to have a look. On the obverse we have the head of King Charles III, the design by Martin Jennings, and we see the face value of this silver coin is £2 as opposed to the Bunc coin's £5. But it's the reverse that we really want to see. So there's Eddie, standing in a kind of ruined landscape that contains a number of references to Iron Maiden album covers and so on. Over on the left, there's the Power Slave Pyramid. On the right, there's one of the floating bulb things from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, which does unfortunately resemble a toilet chain a little bit. There's a pagoda, which I guess references the most recent album Senjutsu, and although Eddie himself kind of most closely resembles the versions from the early albums like Killers and Number of the Beast, he does have his cyborg knee from Somewhere in Time. The ruined urban landscape looks familiar as well. There have been similar ruins on a couple of album and single sleeves, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to represent a particular one. I'm sure someone else will work it out. Finally, there's the Iron Maiden 50th anniversary poster, and up here there's a tiny IM50 piece of text that looks almost like a privy mark. It's a little bit disappointing that there is no edge inscription, it just has a reeded edge. I'm sure they could have found a suitable line from a classic Iron Maiden song. But overall, this is a great design that kind of pulls the band's history together into one tiny image. I suppose there might be some people who might say that it's a little bit generic and who maybe would have preferred something more closely resembling a specific album cover, but then, although this is the first UK coin featuring Iron Maiden, there was a series of silver collectibles issued a few years ago that had some of the album covers on. Anyway, I like it, but for now I'm going to pack it back up. So the Music Legends series has had a few releases now, and it's interesting to think about who might be next. So far we've had David Bowie, Queen, The Who, The Rolling Stones, Elton John, The Police, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Shirley Bassey and George Michael. I think I might have missed some others out as well. We're pretty lucky that in the UK we have such a long legacy of brilliant musical artists. There isn't any shortage of candidates for who might be next in the series. And there's a definite connection between Royal Mail stamps and Royal Mint coins. In 2023 there was a series of Iron Maiden stamps, the ones I have here. I guess this reflects the nature of stamp collecting and coin collecting these days. To try to maintain interest, the Mail and the Mint have become pop culture marketeers. So if we think about that connection, then I predict the next Music Legends coin will be the Spice Girls. They were on a series of stamps in 2024. Oh well, at least I'll be able to save some money by not buying that one. But this week we lost a genuine music legend when Ozzy Osbourne left this planet for the last time. So how about it, Royal Mail and Royal Mint? Let's have a series of stamps and coins with Ozzy and Black Sabbath on them. It would be great to have a coin with the King on one side and the Prince of Darkness on the other. Even better, make it a circulating coin. Anyway, that's my look at the Iron Maiden Bunc pack and Silverproof, and that's all I've got to say, so I will see you around.